Professor Kelrin's claw tapped the projector controls. The holographic list flared to life across the lecture hall dome. Deathworld species: Homo sapiens. Hazard profile: extreme. Juveniles exposed to predators weighing up to 1,000 kilograms. Survival rate: anomalous. Mara Vance shot her hand up from the back row. Every frill on the professor's neck ridge quivered. "That was recess, Professor," Mara said. Gasps rippled through the class. Civ Koro, the top-ranked cadet from Epsilon 7, twisted in his seat 2 rows ahead. His iridescent scales flushed orange. Shock. Mara noted from her human psych scans. Kelrin's multifaceted eyes locked on her. "Cadet Vance." Elaborate. This data comes from verified Galactic Survey archives. Mara stood. Her academy jumpsuit hung loose on her frame. Earth standard, optimized for mobility, not the bulky hazard suits her classmates wore. Black bears in Yellowstone National Park. Adults hit 400 kilos, juveniles less. We played tag near their foraging zones. Park rangers taught evasion drills, dodged 3 charges before lunch. The professor's manipulator arms froze mid-gesture. "You evaded apex predators during play? Without exoskeletal armor? Parks don't allow armor. Too heavy for trails." Mara shrugged. Standard Earth childhood. Builds reflexes. Civ Koro spun fully around. His tail lashed the air. Preposterous. Epsilon juveniles train in 0G sims. "Predators? That's barbaric." "Prove it." Kelrin's frills flattened. "Cadet Koro decorum. Lab practical." Civ pressed. "Xenobiology hazard sim. Replicate this recess. Or admit exaggeration." Mara met his gaze. Challenge accepted. Earth kids didn't back down from dares. "I'm in." The professor's console beeped. An alert flashed. Human interaction protocol. "Very well. Partners, Vance and Koro, Lab 7 now. I flag at high risk. Warden, Adjunct Haish will oversee." Mara grabbed her kit from under the desk. Civ bolted for the exit, scales still orange. Classmates whispered as she followed. Lab 7 hummed under red emergency lights. Hesh waited at the door, his armored exosuit gleaming. The Warden Adjunct species, Vorath built like walking bunkers. Perfect for enforcement. "Human," Hesh rumbled through his Vox grill. "Containment field active. 1 breach, you're quarantined." "Understood." Mara stepped inside. No quarantine needed. Earth germs loved alien hosts anyway. Civ activated the sim console. A holographic grizzly materialized in the center arena. Scale 1-1 per Mara's specs. Fangs gleamed. Claws scraped the reinforced floor. "Parameters," Civ said. "Evade 3 charges. No weapons." "Your recess rules," Mira nodded. She dropped into a crouch, knees loose, heart rate steady at 80 BPM. Adrenaline primed, not panicked. The bear hologram roared. It charged. Mara sidestepped left, feinted right. The Sim's AI tracked her heat signature. Momentum perfect. Claws whooshed past her shoulder, close enough to ruffle her hair. "Shh," 1 Civ counted. His tail coiled tight. Bear wheeled. Second charge. Mara rolled forward, under its belly. Paws slammed the floor where she'd stood. She popped up behind, tapped its flank like tag. 2. Civ's voice cracked. He leaned into the console, adjusting aggression sliders higher. Kelrin patched in via HoloLink. Data streaming. "Cadet Vance, vitals nominal. Green across the board." Mara grinned.
"Pain tolerance?" "Earth Cold's built that."
3rd charge. Bear reared, swiped wide. Mara vaulted a maintenance crate. Park log standard. Landed light, spun away. The sim glitched, recalibrating. "Evaded." Haish grunted from the observation booth. His suit servos whirred. First sign of movement. Civ slammed the override. Not over. Add pack. 2 more bears spawned. Mara's eyes narrowed. Pack tactics. Like raccoon swarms back home, she scanned. Arena edges had grapple points. Sim vents for cover. First bear lunged. Mara darted to the left vent, triggered a steam burst, blinded it. Second bear flanked right. She leaped, grabbed a low beam, swung across. Boots skimmed its back. Civ's scales bleached white. Impossible. Epsilon Sims reject this input. 3rd bear charged the beam. Mara dropped early, rolled into a somersault. Momentum carried her clear. All three milled, confused. Recess over, Mara said, breathing even. Sweat beaded her forehead, normal exertion. Kelrin's hololink flickered. Hazard list. Revise. Predator exposure. Routine adaptation, not extreme. Hesh burst through the door. Deactivate sim. His gauntlet clamped Mara's arm. Gentle, for Vorath. You treat lethality as sport. Protocol demands psyche val. Mara flexed her fingers. No bruise. Eval passed an intake. Earth baseline. Sib slumped against the console. How? My species caps at 2G maneuvers. You ignored physics. Practice. Mara wiped her brow. Bears don't quit. Neither do we. Alarms blared. Lab sensors spiked. Not sim. Real hazard. Containment breach, Hesh barked. A vent panel buckled. Spindly limbs probed through. Clithorax nest. Invasive pests from the outer docks. Academy's bane. Neurotoxin barbs. Swarm tactics. Hesh raised his stunner. Evacuate. Humans. Immunogenic risk. Mara yanked free. Wait! She spotted the nest core. Queen pulsing in the wall crack. Earth roaches taught this. Ignore drones. Hit source. Civ froze. They'll paralyze us. Cover me. Mara sprinted. Grabbed a lab torch from the bench. Welding grade. First Clithorax lunged. Barb grazed her calf. Sting burned. B level. She ignored it, swung the torch. Flame jet seared 3 drones. Each fired suppression bursts.
Insane. Toxin threshold. Hit the queen.
Mara vaulted debris. Torch pierced the pulsing sac. Ichor sprayed. Swarm thrashed. Collapsed. Silence fell. Mara stood amid twitching husks. Leg throbbed, but she walked it off. Civ stared. You endured the barb. We evac at contact. Kelrin's link crackled. Vitals.
Still nominal?
Stings fading. Mara flexed her leg. Like wasp season. Hesh scanned her. Toxin neutralized. Human immune cascade. Active. Rewriting protocol. Civ approached. Scales shifting green. Respect. Partner. Next sim. My zero traps. You teach evasion? Mara clasped his offered claw. Deal. Collaboration beats solo. Kelrin's frills relaxed. Class resumes. Updated list. Humans. Adaptable allies. But as Mara exited, Hesh's private comm buzzed. She caught the whisper. Incident report. Cadet Vance neutralized Clithorax barehanded. Recommend observation or recruitment. The lab door hissed shut behind her. More eyes watched now. Earth Normal just rewrote the Academy rules, and recess was far from over. Civ slammed his claw on the console. Nociception test, standard protocol. Grip the bar, Mara. Safe mammal range, holds for days without tissue damage. Mara flexed her fingers and seized the smooth metal bar. Cool alloy bit her palms. The lab hummed around them, Kelrin's frills twitching from the observation deck above. Other cadets paired off at identical stations, their grips tentative, current surged. Mild tingle at first, like static from a wool blanket. Mara held steady. Step 1. Assess burn. Redness? None. Second. Cooling protocol. Breathe slow. Civ's scales flickered blue. Confusion. Your. Reciting. Earth first aid checklist. Third. Elevative swelling. No sign yet. Voltage climbed. Her forearms warmed, muscles tightening like after a pull-up set. She squeezed harder. Pain sharpened to a deep ache, campfire poker level. Bearable. The machine beeped. Readout scrolled on the holoscreen. Grip strength nominal. Pain threshold. 140% projected mammalian max. Civ leaned in.
Data's off.
Humans aren't mammals like that. Kelrin glided down the ramp, stylus tapping. Cadet Koro, verify calibration. Vance, release. Protocol demands vocal distress at 80%. Mara grinned through clenched teeth. Fourth, hydrate mentally. Imagine ice pack. Sparks danced at her grip points now. Skin prickled. Nerves firing like hot needles. As she'd taken worse sliding into third base on gravel. Hold. Fifth, distraction. Count reps. 110, 111. Alarms blared. Red lights pulsed. The machine screamed, "Stop! Lethal threshold exceeded." Subject instability imminent. Mara released. Smoke wisped from the bar. Her palms blistered red, but she flexed them open. No big deal. Alo later. That all? Civ recoiled, claws splayed. You ignored shutdown? That's Deathworld or sabotage. Door hissed open. Warden Adjunct Hesh stormed in. Stun baton crackling. His exosuit seals hissed with each step. Could advance. Non-compliance with pain response protocol. Humans must signal at 50%. Your override voids safety interlocks. Mara raised her hands, blisters cracking. Ooze stung, but she wiped it on her jumpsuit. Warden, that was safe, mammal. My species baseline's higher. Retest with calibration. I'll sign waivers. Hesh's visor polarized, scanning her. Reckless. Post-Clithorax. You are flagged hazardous. Evac protocols only. Kelrin interjected, frills flaring. Data conflicts. Her vitals peaked nominal. Koro. Cross-reference. Civ punched commands, tails lashing. Thresholds assume Vexari norms. Humans. Their nerves regenerate mid-stress. Rewiring sim. Mara stepped forward. Professor, set it to primate max first. Earth chimps take worse. Then human. Hesh blocked her. Negative. Quarantine pending review. No quarantine. Mara met his visor. Test me proper, or I file xenophobia grievance. Academy Charter. Clause 7b. Civ's console pinged. Sim data. Human nociceptors bundled denser. Pain signals reroute via endorphin floods. Like built-in analgesics? Colrin nodded. Fascinating. Proceed, Hesh. Supervised. Hesh grumbled but keyed his baton to diagnostic. Fine. Dial to primate extreme. One twitch, we yank. Mara gripped again. New bar. Fresh calibration. Current ramped fast. Bite turned to sear. Skin bubbled. She cataloged. 6th. Buddy tape if split. None yet. 7th. Ibuprofen equivalent. Body's dumping it now. Endorphins hit. Mellowing the fire to work out burn. Grip at 200%. Machine whined. Warning. Tissue ablation imminent. Sweat beaded her brow. Muscles quivered but she locked elbows. 8th. Long-term. Scar tissue builds strength. 9th. Walk it off. Civ gaped. She's at 300% Vixari lethal. Kelrin scribbled furiously. Endurance cascade active. Heart rate steady. Remarkable. Hesh's baton hovered. Release, Vance. Not yet. Mara pushed to 350. Blisters burst, blood sizzling on metal. Pain crested, then plateaued. Earth summers prepping her for this. Endless hikes with sprained ankles. 10th. Debrief. Log for medbay. Alarms shrieked. Critical. Shut down! She let go. Bar glowed cherry red. Her hands smoked. Flesh charred black in spots, but bones intact. Nerves singing recovery. She plunged them into the cooling vat. Icy slurry numbed instant relief. Silence gripped the lab. Cadets stared from their stations, grips limp. Civ approached, offering a regen pack. You, narrated through ablation. We signal at first twinge. Mara slathered the gel. New skin itched already. Standard procedure. Kids do it with splinters. Kelrin tapped the console. Thresholds rewritten. Human baseline 450% mammalian safe. Protocol update fleet-wide. Hesh lowered his baton. Visor clearing. Data verified. But next time, verbal check-ins. Deal. Mara clasped Civ's claw. His scales shifted green again. Solid now. Class resumed. Pairs tested hybrids now. Civ dialing for Mara first. She coached. Vexari weak to cold. Your checklist. He nodded. Thermal buffers. You teach pain hacks? Swap sessions. But as they worked, Hesh lingered by the door. His comm buzzed low. Mara caught fragments. Vance resilience confirmed. Recommend paired drills. Full observation. Kelrin called next module. 0G sims tomorrow.
Adapt or fail.
Civ grinned, fangs glinting. My trap's ready. You'll evade? Mara flexed healing hands. Lead on. Hours later, medbay confirmed. Full palm regrowth in 48. Nurse logged. Human baseline. Elevate all Earth protocols. Mara suited for dorms. Hall monitors tracked her stride. No limp. Whispers followed. She burned and laughed. In her bunk, she patched Earth news. Latest, wildfire evac. Hikers walking blisters home. Normal. Academy alert pinged. Updated threat matrix. Humans. Lethal assets. Integrate. She smiled. One test down. Sim hell awaited. Next dawn. 0G chamber doors irised. Civ floated center, deploying traps, spinning nets laced with paralytics. Evasion drill. Vexari elite score, 92%. Mara pushed off, tumbling smooth. Earth PE. Dodgeball, on trampolines, traps word. She twisted mid-spin. Snagged a net, flipped it inside out. Paralytic mist held breath. Standard scuba reflex. Civ blinked. Counter trap, improv, adapt. She reeled him in, nets coiling harmless. Your turn, tag me. He lunged, claws precise. She rolled, booted his flank gentle, momentum sling. He spun wild. Human torque, he gasped, recovering. Insane vectoring. Kel Rin scored from booth. Vance, 110%. Koro, assisted 120%. Ash nodded approval. Protocol, pair humans mandatory. Post-drill, showers cycled. Mara scrubbed toxin residue. Civ joined adjacent stall, scales shedding. Clythorax, burn test, now this. Earth normal. Breaks us. Team normal wins. She toweled, skin flawless. Evening lecture. Quell Rin projected charts. Xenobiology shift. Deathworlders not threats. Multipliers. Mara doodled earth bugs. Roaches, wasps. Icons of baseline. Civ slid note. Pain checklist. Share full. She scrawled back. Tomorrow. Your cold hacks first. Alliance sealed. But Hesh's shadow loomed outside lecture hall. Cadet Vance. Pride of Eval? She followed to his office. Scans hummed. Resilience off charts. Toxin, purge, burn, regen, GA forces. Why? Earth. Mara shrugged. Hurricanes. Sharks. Flu seasons. Pick Professor Kel Rin unsealed the containment vault with a hiss. Vials of glowing slurry bobbed in 0G, labeled Station Pathogen Alpha. 7. Lethal to 98% non-immune species. Mara Vance gripped her lab station. Gloves taut. Civ Koro floated beside her. Frills flared in alarm. Standard demo. Kel Rin droned, manipulator arms distributing samples. Inoculate cultures. Observe replication. Alarms trigger on breach. Mara sealed her vial. Needle pierced the glove during transfer. Rip tore clean through synthweave. Slurry beaded on her skin. She yanked the glove off, eyed the droplet. Earth summers. Mosquito bites. Poison ivy. Patch it. She stripped a sterile strip from her kit, slapped it over the tear, smeared sealant from her pinky, nail clip residue. Perfect adhesive. Glove back on. She peppeted the slurry into the culture dish. No sting. No rash yet. Civ's eyes widened, stalks twitching. Vance, your glove. Quantum breach. Patched. Mara rotated the dish under the scope. Pathogen swarmed. Harmless dots. Kelren glided past. Koro. Focus. Vance technique solid. Session ticked down. Alarms silent. Mara logged data. Replication rate 2.1x projected. Civ fidgeted, claws scraping his station. Bell chimed. Kelren vacuumed vials. Dismissed. Quarantine check in 5. Civ rocketed to the emergency panel. His claw slammed the alert. Contamination event. Human exposure. Glove tier direct contact. Isolate Vance now. Klaxons wailed. Hatches sealed. Med drones swarmed from vents. Mara floated steady. Overkill. I'm fine. Kulrin hovered, sensors whirring over her glove. Breach confirmed. Pathogen viable. Vance to isolation. Koro. Report details. Civ jabbed a datapad. Tear here. Slurry droplet. Human skin contact. Deathworlder or not. Alpha, 7 shreds nervous systems in hours. Hesh burst through the service hatch. Envirosuit bulked. Vance. Cuffed to medbay. Protocol 47B. Deathworlder quarantine. Mara extended her arm. Cuffs clicked. Drones scanned. No surface markers. Blood work first, she said. Prove it. Hesh grunted. Clinic decides. They shuttled her to medbay. White walls pulsed UV. Nursebot extended a sampler. Mara jabbed her finger. Bead of blood welled, thick and red. Bot whisked it away. Civ lingered at the viewport. Drills drooping. Why no symptoms? Alpha. Bevan kills Vexari in minutes. Kel-Rin patched into the console. Data incoming. Vance. Vitals nominal. But baselines. Mara leaned back on the exam slab. Earth flu shots. Childhood chickenpox parties. This. Mild Tuesday. Door irised. Dr. Lyra, the tentacled Maderi, clutched the readout. Impossible. Crossed arms. Infection. Lyra's tentacles writhed. No. Results. Already fought this.
Antibodies saturated. Titer levels off scale.
Pathogen markers neutralized pre-exposure. Civ. Choked. Pre-exposure. She's a walking immunity vault. Kel-Rin zoomed the holoscan. Mara's blood swarmed with markers. Alpha. 7. Beta. 1. 2. Even extinct gamma strains. Human baseline.
Childhood inoculations?
No. Endemic exposure history. Mara shrugged. Earth bugs. Common cold kills 0. Flu season? Half the planet fights variants yearly. Vaccines optional. Hesh's vents hissed. You carry lethal plagues as... normal? Immune system gym. Mara flexed her patched glove, patched worse tears fishing. Hooks through thumbs. Lyra rescanned. Pain threshold, no endorphin spike on breach. Nerve feedback muted. Civ floated closer. Clithorax burns, 0G spins. Now this. Your normal is our apocalypse. Kel-Rin tapped keys. Academy policy update. Human cadets require pathogen premaps. Mandatory pairing confirmed. Resilience multipliers. Kesh uncuffed her. Cleared. But log every scratch. One anomaly. Full scan. Mara rubbed her wrist. Logged the glove. Next drill? Civ vented relief. You're insane. Brilliant insane. Class resumed next cycle. Kel-Rin skipped pathogens. Jumped to symbiosis. Deathworlders adapt ecosystems. Observe. Mara paired with Civ again. He handed her a fresh glove kit. Double seal this time.
She tore one experimentally.
See? Patch point. Slapped sealant. Earth kindergarten craft. Civ mimicked. Claws fumbling. Vexari young shatter on splinters. Postlab. Hesh cornered them in corridor. Vance eval extension. Full tox profile. Coro. Witness. Office again. Scans hummed. Mara sat placid. Probes pricked. Skin samples. Saliva. Hair. Hesh reviewed streams. Regen factor 4x norm. Toxin binders in saliva. Saliva? Antibodies, Mara said.
Spit out infections. Kids eat dirt.
Kel-Rin joined via holo. Data correlates. Human childhoods mimic our bioweapons labs. Roaches, wasps, your doodles. Vectors for resilience. Civ nodded slow. My cold hacks? Useless next to this. Alliance note passed. Civ's turn. Vexari fever. Ice baths. Yours? Mara scrawled. Sweat it out. Run fevers to 104F. Hesh powered down. Protocol rewrite. Humans not threats. Assets, but monitor. Earth normal rewires our sims. Mara saluted casual. Standard procedure. Civ trailed her to dorms. Clinic hook. They expected corpse.
God.
Veteran. She grinned. Next class? Dawn broke with ChemLab alert. Kel-Rin unsealed corrosives. Another. Common hazard. Mara gloved up, double patched from habit. Civ watched. Claws ready. No breaches. Mid-pour, his vial slipped. Acid splashed his scale. This rose. He yelped, plunged into neutralizer. Mara slapped foam on the spill. No drip. Rinse protocol? Civ gasped. Burns gone. Yours would fizz. Blisters max. Pop and tape. She demoed on a SimPad burn from yesterday. Smooth skin now. Kel-Rin scored. Vance assists, 115%. Koro recovers, 98%. Esh logged from booth. Mandatory pairs. Proven. Evening sim. Plague outbreak drill. Station vents spewed fog. Alpha. 7 sim. Cadet scrambled for masks. Mara breathed shallow. Filters? Nah. Earth smog. Wildfires. Held lungs. Patched a hull micro-tear venting fog. Civ sealed beside her. Lungs burning already. You? Tickle. She welded the tear. Done. Alarms cleared. Kelrin blinked. Vance unmasked. No uptake. Civ wheezed. Madness. Competence madness. Medbay pinged post-drill. Lyra's voice. Vance baseline update. Antibodies spiked again. Variant immunity acquired live. Hesh grunted approval. Asset confirmed. But Keelrin's private channel buzzed. Dean. Human review board. Data too anomalous. Mara overheard in hall, doodling Earth flu map. Civ slid beside. They fear you're normal. She capped pen. Show 'em more. Next demo loomed. Exotic allergens. Kelrin unsealed pollen vaults, lethal to 87% species. Mara patched gloves preempt. Civ tensed. Your turn to save me? Team normal. Allergen cloud bloomed. Sneezes echoed. Civ clawed his vents shut. Mara inhaled test. Itch. Mild hay fever. She cultured samples calm. Ripped Civ's mask tore. Pollen bloomed on his face. He convulsed. Mara yanked her spare strip, smeared sealant over his breech. Breathe, through gravity sheared away without warning. Mara Vance slammed into the habitat module ceiling, her shoulder barking pain through her jacket. Cadets spun like debris in a storm. Tools clattered. Simpads shattered. Screams echoed off bulkheads. Civ Koro tumbled past, arms flailing, his four limbs tangling in zero. Vance! Grab! She hooked her fingers into a lab bench strut. Momentum yanked her arm sockets, but she held. Earth playgrounds taught worse tumbles. Civ bounced off a wall, breath whooshing out. He clawed at handholds, missed. Mara unclipped her belt in one yank. She looped it around the bench bolt, cinched a bowline knot. Grandpa's fishing trick. Unbreakable, under 200 kilo strain. She thrust the free end at Civ. Loop your waist. Pull! He snatched it, fumbled the knot. His claws scraped metal. Mara reeled him in, hand over hand, her boots scraping ceiling panels for purchase. His torso slammed into hers. She grunted, locked her legs around the bench leg. Around them, chaos reigned. Cadet Larera from MedTrack spun in a slow cartwheel, puking into her helmet pouch. Professor Kelrin's voice crackled over intercom. All personnel, brace protocols, engineering en route. Civ gasped, secured. Rescue first. Academy rules. Not waiting. Mara eyed the lab straps dangling from equipment lockers. Nylon weaves rated for orbital cargo. She snapped. Too free. Knotted them into a harness sling. Rig up. We move. His eye stalks widened. Movement in uncontrolled spin. Lethal. Standard. She clipped the sling to her belt. Tested tension. It sang taut. Civ hesitated, then threaded his limbs through. Mara hauled him upright relative to the bench. They floated tethered. A makeshift island in the whirl. Bulkhead speakers blared. Warden Adjunct Hesha's gravel voice cut through. Full lockdown. Freeze in place. No manual intervention. Human protocols override. Vance, stand down! Red lights pulsed. Access panels sealed with hydraulic hisses. The override lockout engaged, cutting power to manual controls. Engineering's ETA scrolled on wall screens. 12 minutes. Cadets clung to whatever stuck. Vents. Conduits. Each other. F's vents wheezed. See? Hesh blocks us. Deathworld protocols. Your kind too volatile. Mara scanned the sealed panel by the gravity regulator. Smooth alloy. Biometric lock glowing red. But Earth maintenance crews bypassed worse with wrenches and spite. She spotted the seam. Micro gap where servos met frame. Watch. She pulled a multi-tool from her thigh pouch. Pry bar extension slotted into the gap. Twist. Lever. Bolts groaned. Sparks flew as she sheared the lockout pin. Civ's claws dug into the sling. Hesh will expel you. Mechanical override. Violation. Survival first. The panel popped free. Wires spilled like guts. Mara traced the grav core feed. Red emergency line pulsing faint. She stripped insulation with plier teeth, twisted a jumper bridge. Power hummed back. Controlled spin kicked in. Not full gravity, but a gentle tumble, enough to let them fall toward the floor plates. Cadets thudded down one by one, groans mixing with cheers. Mara yanked the sling, pulling Civ with her. They landed in crouch. She reeled in the straps, coiled her belt. Rig holds. Hesh burst onto the comm. Vance, report breach. Lockout bypassed. Spin stabilized. All secure. She wiped sweat from her brow. Mild sting, nothing like a Chicago winter skate crash. Kelrin's lab booth overlooked the module. Mara glanced up through the viewport. The professor's tentacles froze mid-note on his data slate. Eye stalks swiveled, logging feeds. Vance improvisation, unpredicted. Coro survival, 102% assisted. Civ unclipped, rubbing his midsection. You climbed the spin, anchored me like cargo. Humans. Call that normal? Backyard swing set. Mara stowed her tool. A sim pad floated by. Screen cracked but live. Yesterday's burn mark healed smooth on her arm. Kelrin's score glowed. 115%. Ash stormed the hatch as it cycled open. His armored frame filled the frame. Stun prod holstered, but humming.
Vance! Explain override.
Panel jammed. Jumper restored partial grav. No casualties. She stood straight. Hands open. He scanned the sheared pin. Grunted. Protocol rewrite pending, but humans. Unstable vectors. Paired mandatory. Civ stepped forward. She saved us, adjunct. My vents seized in panic. Her rig. Hesh cut him off. Data confirms. Asset. He eyed Mara. Next drill. Vacuum breach. Paired blockdown lifts. The module hummed back to full gravity. Cadets peeled off walls, murmuring. Lyra clutched her pouch, staring at Mara. You breathe the spin like air. Mara shrugged. Just procedure. Krell Rin pinged her slate privately later, in the corridor shuffle. Mara caught the tail end as she passed. Dean, Van's metrics exceed Deathworld models. Resilience baseline defies. Civ fell in beside her, still massaging his waist. They rewrite rules for you. My top scores? Dust now. Team lifts all. Mara capped her pen, doodling a quick knot diagram on her pad. Earth flu map tucked beside. Hay fever scratches faded already. He blinked stalks. Exotic allergens yesterday. Your spare seal saved my vents. Lungs burned, yours itched. Seasonal. She pocketed the pad. Vacuum next? Civ nodded, spines bristling. Full suits. No breaches. Hesh's voice echoed from ahead. Cadets. Debrief formation. They jogged up. Kelrin lectured from podium. Tentacles waving scans. Alpha. 7 plague. Vance unmasked. Antibodies live acquired. Pollen vault. Sealant improvisation. 0 uptake. Mara stood front row with Civ. Hesh loomed booth side, logging pairs. Gravity failure adds vector, Kelrin continued. Vance converts restraints to mobility harness. Override executes in under 90 seconds. Gasps rippled. Civ leaned in. You're not held 2 masses in vortex. My species engineers scaffolds for less. Grandpa's bowline. Salmon runs. Mara flexed her shoulder. Bruise forming but movable. Kelrin's stalks locked on her. Earth salmon? Irrelevant.
Data, pain threshold ignores structural trauma, Hesh interjected.
Demonstration validated. Human protocols evolve. Paired ops standard. Post-debrief medbay pinged Marisolo. Lyra scanned her arm. Bruise nominal. Antibodies from pollen stable. Gravity stress? Heart rate peaked at Earth jog levels. Normal. Mara hopped off the table. Civ waited outside. Simpad synced. Scores updated. You, 118%. Me, 105%. Your assist. Climb together. She grinned. He paused. Dean calls review board. Your normal brakes models. Let it. Mara eyed the corridor vents. Next breach looms. Evening sim flashed on walls. Vacuum outbreak. Beta, 9. Suits mandatory, but Mara patched her gloves preempt. Civ tensed beside. Your turn to rig? Always. Alarms wailed pre-dawn next cycle. Habitat seals hissed. Microfracture in outer hull. Air whistled out. Cadets bolted for lockers. Mara yanked her suit, sealed Civ's torso seam where it puckered. Breathe steady. He nodded. Vents calm now. Hesh's lockdown skipped this time. Protocols shifted. Kelrin monitored from safe booth. Data streamed. Vance baseline holds. But as fog vented and hull groaned, Mara spotted the true breach, secondary spin building. She tied her knot again. Civ gripped her sling. Climb? She pulled taut. Standard procedure. Hesh watched from command. Prod holstered. For once, no override. The module shuddered. Mara started climbing the rigging toward the fracture, Civ in tow. Competence called madness. And they followed. Mara's boots scraped hull plating as she hauled Civ up the final meter of rigging. The fracture hissed ahead, a jagged tear venting fog into the void. She slapped sealant foam from her thigh pouch over the split. It foamed white, then hardened. The groan faded. Air pressure stabilized. Civ exhaled behind her, sealed. How did you spot the spin shear? List in the bulkhead shadows. Mara rappelled down first, feet finding holds. Earthquakes teach that. Hesh's voice crackled over comms. Breach contained. Cadets, stand down. Vance. No protocols violated. She landed, light, unclipped. Sif followed, eyes wide on her foam-smeared gloves. Jelrin's booth light blinked green, all vitals nominal. Next cycle. Hesh's tone clipped. Vance. Victim designation. Report to Grid Alpha at cycle dawn. Mara nodded to the booth cam. Copy. Civ synced his simpad beside her. Textbook evasion. You'll scatter prey pattern style. She smirked. Watch. Dawn cycle hit with klaxons. Mara sprinted into Grid Alpha's underbrush sim, a tangle of faux ferns and rock outcrops under hollow canopy. Victim roll meant no weapons, just evasion beacon pulsing on her vest. Her team, 5 exchange cadets from Virtus and Krell, clustered at the spawn node. Form wedge, Civ barked from his lead pod across the grid. His hunter squad, textbook predators, fanned into stalks. Sim drones mimicking apex claws. Mara scanned the fern fringes. Drones whirred faint, thermal ghosts in her periphery. Ambush pattern, classic pincer funneling to open glade. Virtus cadet Lyra whimpered. Run? Not there. Mara grabbed her arm.
Hard cover. Follow.
She veered left, boots crunching mulch into handholds. The group stumbled after, Krell spines rattling alarm. Drones buzzed closer, Civ's squad executing flawless herding. Textbook holds, Civ's voice echoed from overhead speakers. His team closed the noose on the glade. Mara shoved through thorn vines, ignoring the sim stings on her arms. Earth blackberry scratches built calluses, tunnel under roots. Now, Lyra, balked. Rules say evade open. They're boxing the open. Mara yanked a root cluster aside, exposing damp soil chute. In, the team piled through. Mara last, dragging vines back. Drones slammed the cover. Thunk thunk. Blocked. Civ squad hit the glade empty. Prey scattered. Regroup flanks. Mara emerged in ravine shadow. Group panting. Beacon pulsed, low threat. She eyed drone patrols overhead. Predictable loops, energy hums peaking at turns. Deterrence. She stripped bark from a sim log. Fiber strips in hand, twist flares. Krell cadet hissed. No tools for victims. Improvise. Mara knotted strips with sap glue from fern slits, dipped in mud pits for phosphor kick. Earth campfires from nothing. She lit one with friction spark. Thumb rub on dry twig. Flame whooshed. Drones dove. Mara lobbed the flare bundle into their path. It burst smoky, glitching sensors. 2 drones spiraled out. Cheat! Civ yelled over gridcom. His squad veered, but Mara waved her team upslope. Rock scree for footing. Shelrin's voice cut in, strained. Vance! Scenario parameters. Evasion only. Cease fabrication. Predators adapt. Mara sparked another flare hurled at flank drones. Burst. Her team scrambled boulders, beacons green. Civ's wedge hit scree chaos. Drones malfunctioned mid-stalk, crashing into thorns. Flank collapsed. Abort pattern. Mara crested ridge, dropped into crevasse cover. Group safe. But drones reformed. Civ rerouting textbook backup. Aerial drop. She scanned debris. Shattered drone carapace. Sparking core. Core overload. Lyra gaped. Rig it? Mara wedged the core into crevasse mouth. Bark wick trailing. Friction spark. She shoved the team deep. Down. Explosion rocked the grid. Shockwave shredded 3 drones. Sim holos flickered. Predator pack. Mauled. Hesh's lockdown klaxon wailed. Grid froze. Pods hissed open. Mara climbed out. Arms scratched raw. Vest beacon dark. Civ stormed from his pod, frills flared. You broke it! Victim yields evasion, not demolition. She brushed mulch off. They followed, regretted it. Kelrin burst from booth, scanner waving. Data impossibility. Human baseline. Flare ignition at 42% efficiency. Explosion yield, 180% model cap. Hesh loomed, prod unholstered. Protocol breach. Humans reclassified. Active hazard. Mara met his gaze. Survival procedure. Earth predators don't quit at evade. Civ synced scores. His pad beeped. Mara 142%. His team 89%. Assist forfeit. You turned victim to Apex. Lyra clutched her pad. She smelled the pinch. I froze. Krell nodded spines. We climb her roots now. Hesh holstered prod slow. Debrief. Review board reconvenes. Kelrin jabbed scanner at Mara's scratches. Pain threshold? Nominal. Regeneration active. This defies Deathworld metrics. Mara flexed her arm. Childhood falls. Bee stings. Poison ivy. Scratches healed overnight. Standard. Civ fell in step beside her. Simpad clutched. Teach the bark flares? My squad adapts. Climb together. She grinned. Corridor walls flash next sim. Toxic swarm. Gamma hull. Mandatory decon suits. Mara eyed her globes. Pre-patched. But Hayes halted them. Vance. Solo review. Dean's orders. She shrugged. Let it. Colrin trailed, muttering. Models rewrite or expel. Civ gripped her shoulder. Data breaks. You don't. Medbay doors hissed. Lyra scanned anew. Tox markers. Earth immune baseline. Scratches nominal. Mara hopped table. Ash watched from door. Rules pad open. Protocol shift pending. His voice grudged. Demonstrate next drill. Contained. She nodded. Competence logged as madness. But the board watched. Alarms pre-cycled. Swarm. Inbound. Mara grabbed decon kit. Civ synced outside. Rig flares. Swarm meets smoke. She twisted fibers already. Grid powered. Drones swarmed. Holo stingers pulsing venom sims. Victim roll again? No. Hesh reassigned. Vance. Point. She charged ferns. Flares bundled. Civ flanked textbook, but eyes on her sparks. Swarm dove. Mara lobbed first burst. Smoke bloomed. Drones glitched midair. Kelrin yelped from booth. Yield 210%. Human norm! Civ hurled his copy botched. Spark. Mara tossed match. Lit. Team surged cover. Hesh nodded once. Predators regretted. Always. But Dean's ping flashed. Full audit. Human protocols obsolete. Mara sealed a drone husk. Eyes on hull vents. Next breach brewed. Competence called them forward. Civ thrust a data slate under Mara's nose. Formal meal. Cadet hall. Tonight. Public test. Human social stability. Mara wiped Simgrit from her hands. The drone husk still smoked in her kit. Sure. What's the menu? Civ's frills quivered. Standard ration. Spiced equilibrium bars. Neutral profile. No Deathworld variances. They marched to the hall. Polished floors gleamed under glow orbs. Cadets streamed in, trays clattering. Civ claimed a corner table. Mara scanned the line. Professor Colrin hovered at the faculty dais. Optics locked on her. Warden Adjunct Hesh patrolled the perimeter, rules pad glowing. Tray loaded. Mara stabbed her first bar. Crimson paste oozed. Vapors stinging most noses. Civ dissected his with precision tongs. Equilibrium blend. Capsaicin analogs at 4.2 tolerance units. Human baseline? She bit deep. Fire bloomed. Familiar backyard chili heat. Earth peppers hit harder. Mara chewed steady. Tastes flat. Got salt? Civ froze mid-slice. Nearby cadets gawked. Whispers rippled. She ingests without purge protocols? Mara waved her half-tray. Trade you. Salt packets for this. A Vaxari cadet blinked, then shoved 3 foil packs across. Humans. Salt process? She tore one open, dusted the bars. Crunchy now. Perfect. Civ prodded his untouched ration. You elevate spice to... seasoning? Keeps it interesting. Mara shoveled another bite. Hall chatter swelled. Wellrin tapped his lectern, logging furiously. Then, a thud. Table 3 over. A Lauren cadet slumped face first into his tray. Blue foam bubbled from his vents. A lurching cascade. His frills spasmed, airways sealing. Screams erupted. Trays crashed. Cadets bolted for exits. Contaminant breach. Evacuate sectors. Hesh's voice boomed. Rules pad blaring alarms. Glow orbs flashed red. Doors hissed seals. Civ yanked Mara's arm. Protocol. Flee to decon. She shook him off. Knelt by the Lauren. Skin mottled purple. Pulse thready under scales. Anaphylaxis. Textbook. Napkins. Belt. Now. Civ gaped. Panic swirled. Cadets shoved past. Quelrin scrambled from dais yelling, "Isolate the vector." Mara ripped napkins from the fallen tray.
Civ!
Relay this. Clear hall to east vents. Block west doors.
Faculty. Epicynth from Medkit Station.
He stammered, frills flat. You're the vector. Belt. She snatched one from a fleeing cadet's waist, snapped it tight above the Lauren's swelling limb. Napkins wadded into the foam, staunching airway seep. Pressed hard. The cadet wheezed, eyes fluttering. Hesh barreled through. Vance, containment breach, stand down. Airways closing. Allergen from the nut analog in ration 3. Mara twisted the belt tighter. Tourniquet hold. Civ, tell Kelrin flush vents with neutralizer gas. Stat. Civ bolted to the dais, voice cracking over comms. Vance commands. Triads relay. East clear. Epicynth. Cadets funneled out. Mara rocked the Lauren onto his side. Recovery position. Earth drill. His vents rasped clearer. Pulse steadied. Kelrin shoved an injector into her hand. Human exposure. She jammed it into the Lauren's thigh. Hiss. Color returned. Good. Loosen belt in 2. Monitor vents. Hesh loomed, pad scanning. You engaged without clearance. Deathworld improv. Standard first response. Mara stood, wiping blue residue. The Lauren coughed awake. Thanks. Thought purge inevitable, as if returned. Optics wide. Hall secured. Your orders executed. 90% evac compliance. Kelrin clutched his scanner. Data spike. Human manipulates allergens at 18 tolerance units. Improvised tourniquet yield. 92% efficacy. Models shatter. Hesh grunted. Decon all contacts, but casualty stabilized. Log as Vance assist. Mara retrieved her tray. Salt packets intact. Meals cold. Reheat? Cadets trickled back. Whispers turned to stares. The Lauren clasped her forearm. No suit. Earth air's worse, she shrugged. Civ slid into seat. Ration untouched. Stability confirmed, or madness amplified. Kelrin edged closer. Cadet Vance, your immune cascade scans post-exposure. Mara popped another bar. Clean. Past the salt. Hall normalized. Trays refilled. But Hesh lingered. Pad rewriting protocols. Human aid subroutine. Pending trial. Civ leaned in. Next sim partnered. My flares, your. Everything. She nodded. Competence logged. Data bent. Alarms pinged soft kitchen contaminant trace. Mara eyed the vents. Another breach simmered. But Dean's comm flashed private. Bonds. Office. Dawn. Full profile rewrite. She chewed steady. Salt crunched. Forward. The hall buzzed louder now. Cadets clustered at adjacent tables, optics darting her way. A cluster of Vexari dissected the incident on slates. Replays of her tourniquet twist looping. Civ noticed too. Your actions propagate. Academy net. Deathworlder stabilizes lethal cascade. Mara scanned her tray remnants. Just ate the spicy stuff first. Builds tolerance. Quelrin hovered. Scanner whining. Pre-meal baseline. Human capsaicin analogs register as mild discomfort. Post, negligible. Earth flora calibrated you for this? Backyard gardens, peppers, wasps, the works. She traded glances with the Lauren, now sipping neutralizer. He nodded respect. Frills half raised. Hesh circled back, voice low. Rules query. Improv tools in public zones. Approved under crisis? Works anywhere. Mara flexed her hands. Calluses from earth ropes, not sim gloves. Next time, stock belts. Civ tested a salt-dusted crumb from her tray. Frills spiked. Enhances. Human norm. Survival hack. Hall lights dimmed to evening cycle. Cadets filed out, but eyes lingered. Kelrin packed his gear, muttering, Xenobiology thesis. Rewrite Chapter 7. Mara rose. Civ matched pace. Social stability. Passed. But competence. Unnerving. She grinned. Keeps us climbing. Corridor hummed. Bence whispered. Trace allergen lingered. Her nose twitched. Faint, like pollen season back home. Hesh's pad beeped override. Vance. Escort to quarters. Observation protocol. Civ bristled. She saved. Rules first. Hesh waved them on. Mara walked easy. Dawn audit loomed. Dean wanted data. She'd deliver action. Quarters hatch sealed. Civ paused outside. Tomorrow. Lab pair. Real toxins. Not Sims. Bring salt. She keyed lock. Inside. Bunk lights glowed soft. Scans auto-ran. Tox clear. Mara stretched. Muscles humming from sim charge. Earth body logged it routine, but Academy boards flickered news. Human cadet averts Hall catastrophe. Competence called forward. Madness to them. She slept sound. Next breach waited. Dawn broke sharp. Dean's ping escalated. Priority Alpha. Mara geared up. Civ waited in corridor. Flares prepped. Aish arrived with escort drones. Audit now. Demonstrate. Kel Rin tagged along, scanner hungry. Live yield projections. Lab doors parted. Tox chamber primed. Real analogs. No holos. Civ synced gear. Together. She nodded. Climb. Chamber sealed. Mists rolled. Competence surged. Mara lunged left as the first mist plume erupted. Acidic vapors clawed at her visor. Earth swamp rot. Dialed to Academy specs. She yanked the scrubber hose free and jammed it into the flow. Green foam surged, neutralizing the burn. Civ staggered beside her, frills clamped tight. Vance, levels at 40%. Evac protocols. Mark the breach. Mara traced the leak with her scanner. Faint hiss from panel 3, she wedged her boot under the grate and pried. Metal groaned. Tox cloud thickened, itching her exposed neck. Routine sting, like playground scrapes. Aisha's voice crackled over comms. Cadet Vance, retreat! Drones inbound! Got it. She slapped sealant patch over the split. Foam bubbled, sealed. Air cleared 20%. Civ synced his unit, flares popping to bind residual particles. They climbed the access ladder together. Mist swirled below. Chamber vents hummed victory. Decon spray rained down. Mara peeled off her glove. Skin pink, no blisters. Civ's tendrils quivered. Patched without suit integrity, earth hack. She dropped to the deck. Kelrin burst through the observation hatch, scanner whirring. Professor Stocks widened.
Yield data. Human epidermis withstands 300% lethal dose for Civ species.
Unprecedented. Hesh shoved past, drones retracting. Precedent for quarantine. Incident reports. 3 this cycle. Petition filed. Humans as restricted biohazards. Mara straightened. Petition what? Segregation. Hesh tapped his pad. Deathworld vectors. Unstable. Civ vented steam.
She just cleared Alpha Tox. Top scores.
Data lies. Hesh eyed Mara's neck.
Or hides.
Kelrin raised a stalk. Board convenes. Dawn. Live metrics demand review.
He pivoted to Mara. You demonstrate restraint.
She nodded. No point arguing air. Quarters waited, but Hesh's escort clamped on. Corridor lights flickered to audit yellow. Drones hummed flank. Civ matched stride. Board stacked. Hesh chairs safety. Show them. Mara flexed fingers. Skin cooled already. Earth immune system logged it. Minor irritant. Quarters hatch hissed shut. Scans beeped clear. She stripped gear, logged the run. Neck rash faded. Pollen levels back home hit harder. Bunk called. Sleep hit fast. Dawn chime pierced dark. Mara's pad blared. Board priority. She geared casual, fatigues, boots. Corridor swarmed cadets. Civ waited. Data slate clutched. With me? Hesh loomed at board doors. Vance only. Civ, stand down. Jolrin waved from threshold. Partners paired in sims. Data inclusive. Doors parted. Chamber. Tiered seats. Hollow screens pulsing incident replays. Dean at head. Shells clicking impatience. 10 xenobiologists. Safety reps. Hesh stood central. Petition glowing. Bands enters. Hesh activated restraints. Symbolic cuffs. Academy nod to hazards. Exhibit stability or confirm threat. Mara stepped to the dais. Cuffs clicked wrists. Cool metal, familiar weight, like juvenile detention drills back home. Ask. Kellerin projected chamber logs. Tox breach. Human breached protocol. Exposed dermis. Survived. Explain. Standard. She shrugged cuffs. Earth air's 21% oxygen. Laced particulates. Childhood vaccines handle analogs. Patched because delay spreads. Murmurs rippled. Civ slipped in back, uninvited, slate ready. Hesh slammed pad. Irrelevant, cumulative. Hall allergen cascade, sim overload, now alpha tox. Petition. Quarantine wing, no mixed labs. Humans biohazards. Lethal unpredictability. Dean shells parted. Metrics. Projections. 87% cross-species risk. Hesh zoomed Mara's neck scan. Regeneration rate. 500% norm. Kellerin leaned in. Fascinating, but viable. Cadet. Simulate restraint. Hesh cued minor irritant drone. Pollen analog. Safe for all but hypersensitives. Cloud puffed. Mara inhaled. Nose twitched. No sneeze. Clear. Board shifted. 1 rep. She tolerates normal. Mara eyed Hesh. Petition blocks teams. Yesterday's sim? Mixed cleared 40% faster. Hesh bristled. Anomaly. Civ surged forward. Data. Slate beamed to holo. Graph spiked. Mara Civ pair versus pure alien squads. Tox clears. Plus 62%. Endurance runs. Plus 89%. Top rankings. Segregate. Academy lags. Kellerin stalks perked. Correlations hold across cycles. Dean clicked. Counter-proposal? Mara twisted cuffs. Clicked open. Academy cheap locks. Gasps echoed. She stepped free. Joint protocol. Pulled her pad. Uploaded draft. Pair resilience with safeguards. Humans front breach. High tolerance. Aliens flank. Precision scans. Evac syncs. Train mixed. Sims first. Lib second. Hollow bloomed. Flowcharts. Roles mapped. Human icons tanked tox. Alien icons vectored drones. Performance sims projected. Plus 120% efficiency. Ish froze. Drafted when? Dawn shift. Mara met his gaze. Competence stacks.
Not madness.
Civ nodded fierce. Backed. My logs. Mara flags risks aliens miss. We climbed together. Board murmured. Kellerin scanned protocol. Viable. Data predicts uplift. Dean shells snapped. Vote. Segregation. Nays piled. 8-3. Hesh slumped. Petition dissolved. Mara handed her pad to Kellerin. Training manual. Start today. Dean rose. Approved. Mixed teams. Protocol beta. Hesh unclipped his own pad. Revise safety codes. Corridors buzzed as board emptied. Civ clapped Mara's shoulder. Gentle, frills relaxed.
You rewrote rules. Team did.
She pocketed pad. Next lab pinged. Real field sim. Joint now. Kellerin caught up. Thesis update. Humans. Lethal assets. Hesh trailed. Scanner out. Observation continues. Mara grinned. Earth normal, scaled galactic. Breaches waited. Competence called. Lab hatch parted. New mist rolled heavier. Unknown analog. Civ synced gear. Protocol 1. Climb. She plunged in. Drones followed. No cuffs this time. Tox level spiked. Mara traced vents. Civ flared binds. Team hummed. Board feeds watched. Data rewrote itself. But deep scans pinged anomaly. Mara's blood markers danced wild. Not threat. Evolution's edge. Next breach brewed. Or broke.